And welcome everyone. This is Don Giannetti, lighting-essentials.com and project52prosystem.com. And this is another one in my ongoing series of what makes this photo great, where I talk about individual images and photographers that have influenced me. I want to make sure that everybody knows this is not a list of the greatest photographers in the world. That would be a very long list, and it also comes down to personal preference. These are photographers that influenced me and my work. Some of them earlier in my career, some of them later in my career. And my history, of course, is a commercial photographer. It means I was doing a lot of business photography. I got into it circuitous route and enjoyed it, and spent a lot of years photographing towels and hot dogs and stuff. I started as a beauty and fashion photographer, but there was really no beauty and fashion to be found in Phoenix, Arizona. I had to go to New York to pursue that. I love the energy of New York. I didn't want to bring up my family there, so we came back to Arizona, and I started shooting what I could shoot, and towels, tabletop, food, product, just an open commercial photographer. Never a famous photographer. Nearly famous maybe, but never a famous photographer. But I held my own, and I had a great time, had a great career. Now I'm looking at these photographers, and as I start to move back from, like 35 years or more of commercial photography where I shot photographs for someone else. Even in the ad agency, I photographed for someone else. Everything was for someone else. I'm finally trying to get back to shooting for me. And these are photographers who are inspiring me to shoot now and try to make my work more what I see in my head. And I'm going to talk about this gentleman out in Beaumont, Texas. Teaches photography there at the university, and his name's Keith Carter. I met Keith when he came to Phoenix to do a speech, and we ended up playing music together for a couple hours in Marco's studio. That was a blast. Keith's a great guitar player and a terrific photographer, and just a really warm and genuine human. Let's start with this first image, which I just absolutely love. These are sort of a conceptual portrait. I'm knocked out by it. I think it's just so incredible. It makes me want to do more with my film cameras, of which I own way too many. Way too many. Makes me want to shoot more with the film cameras. Makes me want to do more with the negatives, like I used to do back in the darkroom. But don't you just love the lines here? I mean, they're incredible. The line here and the line here. The great out of focus background that God knows what that is, but it's very, very cool. I love this shot. It's called Fireflies. Keith is very much I guess I would call him a romantic photographer. Photographs a lot of other rural places in and around Texas. Very real. Does it in an artistic and very unconventional way. I just, when I first saw this shot, I thought, oh my God, that's so gutsy to do it. Bring the focuses here, and the kids are out of focus and probably moving. This looks like motion focus as well. And it just brings back so many memories to me of being outside and playing, my neck of the woods here. We'd go out and catch tadpoles and little fish and all kinds of stuff. And it just instantly brought back memories. I just thought that was great. Talking about conceptual portraiture. This shot. Now Keith uses, as far as I know, in most of his photographs here, Keith's using a square format film camera, probably a Hasselblad. Did I say that? Hasselblad. And, an assortment of lenses, but a lot of the normal lens, the 80 millimeter lens. This is so beautifully done. Look at the way the focus comes in, goes out. it looks very much like it could be photographed on a tilt and swing 4x5, moving the field of focus from deep field of focus to shallow by tilting opposite the way. So it may have been on 4x5. It is cropped to a square, and you'll find that when you're looking at Carter's pictures, many of them are cropped to squares. So he does seem to like that. But this picture just blows me away. The texture of the building, the room, the idea of the super classical background, super classical approach to the thing, and then of course the Mickey Mouse ears, just bizarre, and it catches my attention and makes me think I need to do this more in my photography. I need to catch people off guard more in my photography. I love it. Keith Carter. All right, look at this. This is called Catching Venus, I think, and we have the person up on the roof, hands up in the sky. I don't know if that's actually Venus up there. I don't know. Possibly. Could be a representation of Venus there in the sky. But look at the way this edge comes in here. It's almost ominous, right? Visualize this picture without this edge, and it doesn't have that ominous sort of foreboding feel to it. Notice the light on the person up here is very, they're lit, they're in the shadow here, so there's some beautiful, beautiful moments happening all through this. If you're going to send me an email and say, Don, does he use strobes or not, I'm going to honestly say I don't think he does very often, if at all. I know most of the work that I'm familiar with is natural light. It's just the world. This is a very cool shot. This is just, making a photograph out of nothing. Carter can make a photograph anywhere, anytime, with any prop or any person. It's a mind game of composition. You have the subjects to work with. You have a blank sky, you have a little bit of shrubbery in the front, and wow, you've got a photograph. How many times have we been faced with bleak landscapes or bad lighting or whatever, figure out the what ifs and not taking a photograph? Carter can do that. Carter can make it happen. He can make that photograph. And this photograph is just stunning. The effortless way it looks on film here. It just looks like nothing was going on here. But his work is carefully composed and carefully shot. Picture of a lamb, very shallow depth of field. Look at the little eyelashes on the lamb. Isn't that beautiful? Just stunning. One of the first books I bought by Keith Carter, and I've got several here, but one of the first books I bought was called Ezekiel's Horse. And Ezekiel's horse are pictures of the magnificent beasts themselves in a way that you haven't seen them before. I can pretty much guarantee it. The focus, these are not calendar shots of horses. These are absolutely stunning compositions using the horse as the composition. Isn't that amazing? I wish it was a little bit bigger, but maybe I can push this up here. We can get it a little bit bigger. You look at the lines. Look at the incredible cropping to present this horse. Isn't that amazing? Here's another from Ezekiel's horse. White horse out using the camera and the lens and diffusion, whatever he's using here, to create a very mystical picture of the horse. And I just love it. I think he may be one of the most underrated photographers I know. He's he's internationally acclaimed. There's no doubt about that. But I think he deserves even higher honors than he has, because he just knocks me out every time I see his work. Look at this great portrait here. Look at the texture. Look at the wall. Look at the focus. Everything here is working to create a picture of a kid wearing a hat that gives you the impression that it's more than a picture of a kid wearing a hat, doesn't it? Look at how beautifully the tones drag us right down into the middle. Notice how out of focus hands and knees and shoes, little tennis shoes, little socks and everything, are put out of focus, driving us right up to that cone on the head. The bench is out of focus. The wall is in and out of focus. It's really, really cool. And look, and doesn't it look craftsman-like to you? Doesn't it just exude craftsman quality? It does to me. I'm just incredibly blown away by this piece. Here's another portrait, very similar. Look at the tonality, look at the composition, look at the slight tilt to the horizon, the birds taking off, the lines coming up into the person. It's just so tightly done, and to have the edges go, you know, just a tad out of focus, just a tad weak at the edges, just super nice. These are pictures that should evoke emotion, and I hope that they are evoking emotion with you, because that's their goal. That is the goal, is to make the viewer feel or see something they haven't seen. So here's a tabletop shot of looks like bird specimens. Just a lovely photograph of a, you know, quite a interesting subject matter. Carter finds subjects everywhere he goes. They are everywhere, and he makes them, makes incredible shots. Sparklers, girl in a white dress, exposure, blown out where the sparklers are, and we have this little thing caught in time, this little perfect photograph for us to hold on to. We know what's going on here. We can see it happening, you know, sparklers, and it's astounding. Here's Carter using the limits of film and emulsion. He knows he can't get texture in the sparklers, so he opens up and lets them blow out white. We got texture in the dress. We see the way the feet are. Look at the deep textures all the way around. It's just such a cool photograph. It's so much more beyond just a portrait. It is a picture of someone doing something, and I love the gesture. We're going to go back through the work and look at gesture on our way out here. And of course, this shot of the young person leaning against the arrow here, which has so many mythological connotations. So many ideas could be drawn from this crazy arrow, you know, from violence to directions. And we have this young child at the base with a mask on. It's very, very interesting. And again, these are pictures that are designed to evoke an emotional response from you, and they do. Look at the gesture here. We got the vertical, we got the horizontal, and we got the wind blowing the dress. Isn't that nice? Just a little bit of movement right here, a little bit of gesture. Look at the feet. She's coming forward as if stepping off the bench there, and that adds a little bit of dynamism. Is that what the word would be? Dynamics, maybe, to the picture. Little bit of gesture there. This arm being outstretched. Are we catching him after he fed the birds? Before he fed the birds? What's happening? That little bit of movement, little bit of posing here blows me away. And catching the bird in flight here, that one bird, just really, really great. Look at the energy in this young man. You know, he's sitting here on the thing, but you see his shoulders coming forward. He's getting ready to stand up. He's getting ready to confront. There's gesture all the way through it. Even the composition, the wide horizontal, the single vertical in the middle, and that round circle coming up at the top is just adds a little bit of flavor to it that otherwise it may not have had. This one, look at the horse standing forward, leaning in forward. The lamb's head coming in and pushing out. Of course, the gesture of the hands is pretty much what we see here. The hands thrusting into the image is really great. The person here, hand behind their back with the other hand out, and the hands flat. It's just so much going on here. That's a gesture, human gesture. This over here is a photographic gesture. Something is dynamically helping create the image. there's so much gesture, I can't believe it. I mean, what a perfect pose to put this person in, right? This young person. Hands behind their back, feet at military, locked position, head up, proud as they were being normally photographed, maybe in an old photograph, and yet wearing Mickey Mouse ears. Isn't that cool? I hope you like it. And I love, of course, the young man moving, going down to see the fireflies, the gesture throughout the picture. Notice the hands coming up, coming down. Notice him being round and leaning down. He's actually flexing back. So many things happening in the picture. And of course this one with the arms almost flailing. We don't know what she's doing. Maybe she's dancing. Maybe she's hiding her face. Whatever's happening, it's not just a picture. And I just absolutely adore Keith Carter. I hope that you go and check out the links down below. There's links to Keith Carter's books. I would suggest you go and pick up one. Ezekiel's Horse is one of my favorites, and 50 is another one of my favorites. So enjoy. Keith Carter is number 26 on my list of what makes this photo great. If you like this little series and what I'm doing here, hit the like button. I sure would appreciate it. Lets me know that people like what I'm doing. If you don't like what I'm doing, hit the don't like button, because then I know people don't like what I'm doing, and I'm okay either way. I'm just going to keep doing it. So we're on 26. 27 is going to be a fashion photographer, because I did start out a long time ago in beauty and fashion, and I've got to give some props to a few of those photographers who taught me so much. So have a great one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.